no good, rotten snollygoster, and her brother Ted was no better. Any person who had the displeasure of knowing them thought so, and would be right. One could safely assume that all in their circle of influence had the secret desire to throw one or both of the devils off some very, very high cliff. Such harmful intentions could never come to fruition, however, for the Pickfords were maddeningly rich. Harper and Madeline Pickford, formerly Madeline Mincing, were the high class and highly influential parents of Beatrice and Theodore Pickford. You might routinely find Harper Pickford attending meetings of the highest societal influence, such as, but not excluded to, presidential meetings, ribbon cuttings, diplomatic exchanges, even coronations for royalty in foreign countries. Though he did not seem to hold any real position of power, somehow he was always near when important decisions were being made, and never came the end result without his say in the matter. Madeline was most often found gallivanting across the world in the most fashionable fashion. One day she might be in one country, the next in entirely another across the globe, all with her entourage of starry-eyed worshippers quick on her expensive heels. She attended galas, judged in pageants, led parades, and waded through crowds, pushing and prying to get a glimpse of her. Some had even taken to thrusting their babies or small children at her to kiss, thinking the touch of her plump lips might cast some blessing upon them. The entire Pickford name could be summed up in 3 words: influence, power, money. Well, no one quite knew where it all came from. Nobody had ever seen any of the Pickfords work a day in their life. Some thought treachery, others assumed blackmail, even others theorized some secret royal bloodline or even divine heritage. Either way, it seemed to be a law of the universe that the Pickford family, generation after generation, was important. Needless to say that when Gertrude, the Pickford's head maid, found her kitchen filled with smoke and smelling suspiciously like burnt hair, she couldn't do anything about it, except for scream, and that she did. Those demon children, she spluttered, red face burning hotter than the fire that had melted her cooking utensils. Oh, they've really done it now. I think they are dead set on either making me quit or killing me. Oh, if I could get my hands on 'em. She grabbed a nearby banana, slightly singed, and twisted it till yellow mush splurted out either end. What are you gonna do about it, Gertie? A small, fat man stood behind her, looking worried. Gertrude humphed and sat heavily on a nearby stool. Nothing, Gus, absolutely nothing. I can never do anything about it, because one word against their pretty little heads and I get sent packing. Gus shifted awkwardly on his feet, seeming not to know whether to comfort her or run scared. It's a real conundrum, Gert, he said. She threw her hands up, letting go of the banana, which flew towards Gus. I'm so tired, Gus. Those rotten Pickford children will be the death of me. Gus wiped banana mush off his face and nodded. Why? She stood, knocking the stool over in her haste. I've been having nightmares, Gus. She moved towards the counter, moving her hands animatedly. Every night I see their hideous little faces. Gertrude grabbed a kitchen knife from off the counter without seeming to notice it. She whirled again towards Gus, knife flying as she threw her hands about in her fury. Every night they taunt me. They poke me and prod me, and I can't move or speak or run. Gus backed away, watching the knife with wide eyes. Oh, how I wish I could just tie the things to a chair and just arg. She flung the knife. Gus ducked, barely avoiding accidental beheadment. That's real bad, Gertie, he said. I'd kill him, Gus. I'd kill him if I could, and you know I'm not a murderous person. Gus was tugging at the knife, which had lodged in the wall. Not at all, Gert. But that's just how much they've gotten to me. Why, I feel like I'm going crazy. She laughed and ran her hand over her face, leaving a smear of banana. Gus was still pulling on the knife, making no progress. A look of sudden despair came over Gertrude's face, and she sat right down on the floor, ignoring the basket of tomatoes under her buttocks. Squish. Well, ain't it just too bad they don't just travel when their parents do, Gus said, wiping sweat from his balding brow. Gertrude stood suddenly then. That's it, Gus. She ran to him and grabbed his round face. She planted a harsh, banana-y kiss on his little lips. Gert, he said, but she wasn't listening. Already she was running off, cackling like a witch. Gus didn't have the courage to yell at her that the tomato basket was still stuck to her behind.